It is game week. It's Monday night. We are live. Let's talk some Tennessee football. Tennessee, Syracuse, Saturday. Make sure you hit the like, the share, that subscribe. Before we move any further, I'd like to welcome back to the show a man living life to the fullest, a man who continues to outkick his coverage, and a man who shoots 70 in golf on 9 holes. None other than Mr. Kerry Williams. What's going on, Kerry?
What's up?
Back in the fold, back in the house tonight. How fired up are you? It's game week.
I mean, you can't be any more fired up at this point in the week. Happiest Monday I've had in a long time.
It was nice to see. I mean, I think I saw you tweet this last week. You tweeted something about the Joker and the Thief. And then Saturday, I turn on Iowa State, Kansas State. And that's playing to start the game. And it's like, I don't know why that's a kickoff song, but it like got my blood boiling when it started playing. It was like, I don't know that we'll hear it this week or not since it's a neutral site, but
probably not. I could hear it through my office window. That's why.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was playing through the speakers in Neyland, and my window, I could hear it outside of that. And then there's been a few times I've heard Rocky Top as well. Like in the scrimmage, whenever they scrimmaged, I guess after they scored a touchdown, they played Rocky Top because I heard Rocky Top at random times throughout that morning. So I'm assuming they kind of just treated it as if it's a normal, like a normal game. So that was pretty cool. And I think the band practiced as well. I was leaving work one day and it sounded like the real band. So I'm assuming they were practicing in the stadium.
So I don't guess you were able to go out and take a break and sneak into Neyland and catch any of the scrimmage.
No, there's too much construction going on to get past anybody.
I gotcha. Well, we're here. We're 1 weekend. Of course, catching up. Of course, you've not been able to come on so far, but just, a lot to talk about is terms of we know the quarterback is. We pretty much know we're going to see as far as personnel this week. So, what's your thoughts on Aguilar winning the job?
I mean, I don't see why anybody could necessarily doubt it. I'll be the first to say I think will have a better season than Nico would have. I think we hopped up Nico to be more than he was. I think the talent's there. There's no doubt about that when it comes to Nico. The talent is never was an issue. It was just the 6 inches in between the ears is really what killed him. That was killer. Arm talent was there. He had the speed. He had the athleticism. He just couldn't make a good decision to save his life the majority of the time. And it was a miracle that we won 10 games with him at quarterback, considering some of the decisions that he made and some of the decisions that I watched him make while at the games. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching his thought process as the play's unfolding. And I'm like, don't throw it there. And he throws it there. That happened a few too many times last season. So, I mean, I'm not going to be one to be mad that he left. I think we're in a better place. We have a quarterback that's experienced, that's a good game manager. I think he'll take care of the football. I think Joey's great for the job. He's a leader. He's actually vocal. We didn't see videos of Nico last year hopping up players or talking to the guys, and we saw that so far this preseason with Joey. So I think Joey's got us in a great spot. I'm not saying he's going to have a Heisman campaign. I just think he fits the description of what you need in the Tennessee offense, and that's just a game-managing quarterback that's not going to turn the ball over a bunch of times and just make good, smart decisions.
The more I've read on him, I keep seeing different stats, and I may pull it up and show it again here in a minute. Do you know who the quarterback guy? Have you seen him? You've probably seen the clip last week where he was showing.
That was a good clip.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because he tells it like it is, and I may pull that back up if anybody didn't see it. I thought it was good just because how he led who's going to rip that pass? It's Joey Aguilar. But I've seen stats talking about it, and I'll hit some of your comments here in a minute. How Aguilar, I saw something where is he the returning leader in yards per game, maybe in college football? And I saw this on VolQuest. I thought it was pretty interesting. I'll try to give the poster. I don't know anybody on there listens, but in the event that they do, poster by the name of Thoroughbred put on there. This was an interesting one. Put Joey Aguilar was sacked 34 times the past 2 years on 850 attempts, 1 sack per 25 attempts. Nico was sacked 35 times in 379 attempts, once per 11 attempts. That is a massive difference. That is a massive difference. I think there were times last year, I think specifically the Oklahoma game, where our tackles just got lit up in that game. I mean, there were some other times too, but yeah, I've seen a little bit of clips too, the Pancakes and Bacon podcast, where they've talked about the last 2 years. They felt Milton and Nico, a lot of the problems were on them. And the offensive line could run it. I don't know if they were as good in pass protection, but still yet, I mean, now I asked Jordan Moore this when he was on a few weeks ago too, and you went to a number of games. How many times were guys running wide open and
A lot.
didn't hit them? Was it pretty often?
Yeah, it was multiple times a game. There was guys that were wide open. A lot of the times it was, if it wasn't an overthrow, he just wasn't looking that way. He wasn't going through his reads. Like the quarterback guru called out at the Ohio State game. It's just, he kind of went through the first read. It wasn't there. He bailed, and he took a sack, or maybe he scrambled and got like 3 to 4 yards. But there was just a lot of times throughout the season where there was guys open downfield. Some of them, of course, would have been hard throws, but it's still, there was a lot of throws that could have been made. He just didn't. But the offensive line did let a lot of guys through at times last year. So I understand why he kind of did panic at times. I just felt like that was something that carried on throughout the season. He didn't trust the offensive line. So that's why he held the ball too long. Sometimes he was scared to make the bad decision. Either way, it wasn't quite good enough.
Yeah, it was. And I'm trying to find that clip that he's showing multiple clips in this Ohio State game. It's like, what were we doing here? And I wish I could remember what the minutes were on it. And I'll find it here in just a minute. But I want to show it. I think this is it right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this could have been a game changer. I mean, you were there at the Ohio State game. How many times were guys running open in that game that he missed? I mean, obviously the one that Brooks put on there, but
yeah,
was there more than that?
I can't, that game was, I tried to flush that out of my memory as much as possible. So I can't honestly say that I remember too much of guys running wide open in that game, because it was basically surrender Cobra after I saw on Twitter that Dylan Sampson was done for the game in like the first quarter. So I kind of just like sat there and suffered, I guess.
Your eyelids were probably frozen shut too, weren't they? So
I actually didn't really get cold.
Wasn't that bad?
No, I don't know how. I didn't. I guess I prepared accordingly.
There you go. Better to have too much than not enough.
I definitely did have too much on.
Let's see what we got here. Chuck Black in the house. He's just calling it like it is. We'll see Saturday. Kyle Beach. Saturday's getting closer. Boy, 5 days now. Less than 5 at this point. Case and Ledbetter says, I'm ready. Miles Lane in the house. What's up, man? Says, my body is ready. And, App State was top 20 in yards a year ago. I mean, Aguilar threw interceptions. He's playing from behind all the time, though. I mean, I've talked to numerous people who are either fans or had connections there, and I've read about Eric Kane, VolQuest.com, had an article this week talking to Aguilar's quarterback coach, and he said he's a gamer. He said he's a high IQ guy. He can make the throws. I mean, he's got good size. He can run. I'm like you on it. I've said it before. I think he's an upgrade over Nico. And, will there be those times? Every quarterback, for the most part, is going to throw a pick. But, are there those times? I just think he can go through the progressions on it. I'm going to pull this up here again. I just like this clip. I like showing it here. And this dude kind of cracks me up too, because he pretty much tells it like it is. If y'all were with me last week, we're going to watch the clip again, just because I just like how he delivered it. Here we go. Take sound off.
All right, we cut out all the passing clips. All right, but This is what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about creating the one explosive and hitting the damn thing. Because if we don't hit it, our offense is cooked. All right, so here we go. Right here. Here's the concept. We got to square in on the front side, Jonathan. Got to square in on the front side. Here, we got a hitch, and we got a red line go. All right, meaning he's going to get to the inside release, going to get to the back to the top of the numbers, and he's going to run that go. All right, that's what we got. Simple, 3-man concept. It's really 2 reads. You don't like the front side, get to the back side. That's it. All right, and over here on the backside, Jonathan, we probably got some type of cover 2, all right, is what it looks like. It looks like he's going to play this void. He's going to play over the top. He's going to play underneath. That's what we know we have on this side of the field. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, the square end's going to get cooked from jump, and you're going to see it. But this is what frustrated me every single time I watched Tennessee last year, because we got no chance as an offense. Watch this right here. All right, corner feints the blitz. Corner feints the blitz, gets right back up underneath the square end. So right now, at the top of our first drop, we're cooked on that square end, right, Jonathan? So what are we going to do? We're going to click back over to the left side, right? Because we're a quarterback. We got one read over here. We don't like it, so let's click back over here. Watch what happens to our lower body. Watch what happens to our platform as a quarterback when we come back to the other side. Watch this right here. Do we have any chance of throwing a football right now? No. What are we doing 100% of the time? We are bailing out of this pocket. We're rolling left. Is there a reason to do so? No. Pocket's cleaner than shit. Well, what would happen if we actually read the progression right now? First and foremost, we probably could throw this ball out to the left side shoulder of this guy if we really want to. But guys, the red line's running to grass. The red line's running for 70 right now. It's right there. I watched a ton of App State football last year when we went and studied him. You know who's ripping that football this year?
Joey Aguilar.
And look, it might get picked off 1 of 6 times. But the other 5, we might damn hit the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, man, it would frustrate me. It's a touchdown.
That clip fires me up to watch. It's funny, number one, but just to hear him then flip to, I watched a ton of App State. We know who's ripping that one. It's a big difference, man, because I feel like 2 years in a row. And, you know, we have to see it happen first. But, man, I don't know. I just feel a lot better going into this season quarterback-wise. I mean, do you agree or disagree? I mean, I know you said it's an upgrade, but, like, how confident would you say you are in Aguilar to get the job done?
I mean, I'm confident considering the fact that he's been there before. Like, he has experience. He has multiple years experience at playing quarterback. I don't think – I mean, he's put on weight. He's bigger. There's not the injury liability like there was last year. I mean, we were all scared that Nico was going to get hurt and go down, and we didn't have anybody. I mean, we love Gas Pop and what he is. It's just he wasn't good enough to be an SEC quarterback. Like, we weren't going to win 7 games if he had to play the entire season. So at least this year, Joey Aguilar, body's great. He's the exact build that you want a quarterback to be. He basically looks just like Baker Mayfield, the same body type. So it's just there's a confidence with that of knowing like he probably, Lord willing, he doesn't get injured. But at least if he does, you do have options behind him in Jake Merklinger and George McIntyre. So you don't necessarily have to worry about that. I just think it's the confidence level in him is good just because he has experience and he should have good game managing skills. And then the accuracy should get better just because basically every quarterback's accuracy numbers increases under Josh Heupel. Yeah, and that's one thing about it. They don't throw a lot of picks. They've been pretty accurate on it. I think with this guy coming in, you know, I just feel like it's a dude who can run the offense, who can pull the ball down and go if he needs to. He's not afraid to throw the football, which is one thing as well. And based on what I've watched of him, he's not a one progression and go guy. He can go through the progressions. That's the last 2 guys have not done that. And, you know, and we blame it on everybody else except Joe Milton got more blame than Nico got a free pass. Nico was, I would venture, like I said, how we won 10 games with him last year. Yeah. It was in spite. I mean, it was the defense and Dylan Sampson.
Let's put it that way. I don't expect we're going to see these games this year where we go 3-4 straight games and don't score in the first half. I just don't see it. I've seen some stuff talking about – I've seen a little bit of this press conference, some of the quotes today about him. I can't remember all the quotes. I was trying to find it here. But, yeah, Bishop, it's a dream of his, man. Just being a local guy. I've said this from the get-go. We'll kind of hit everything here because you and I have not talked it. We've not talked it since fall camp has started here. But what's up, Dave? Good to see you in here, man. It says, hey, Frank and Carrie. Yeah, I agree with this one. This is going to be a long week, especially my first week at school with kids too. And not that that's bad, but just first week of work and Saturday on tap, it's going to be a long one. Joey Swagular, I hadn't seen that one. Let's hope he is, man. Let's hope he is. Let's put – all right, I got us pretty much caught up here as well. See a couple predictions. We'll get to some of those here in a minute. But if you look overall to offense, we've talked Joey Aguilar the whole time. What's some pieces that you like or some position groups you like? Where do you have concerns at on this offense?
I mean, I think there's two obvious position groups that you have to like whenever you look at Tennessee's offense. That's running back and tight end. Those are two arguably best position groups on the team in general. Running back, you got Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis, and then Star Thomas. All three of those guys are good enough to be your starter. None of them will of course not be as good as Dylan Sampson was last year, but those three as a whole will be more than good enough. It'll be kind of like the 2022 approach where you had Jabari Small and Jalen Wright, and also some Dylan Sampson. Or actually, no, not was he here in 22?
Who's Sampson?
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah, it
was either 22 or 23.
Yeah, I think because he just stayed 3 years, right? So, yeah, he would have been a freshman in 22.
Yeah.
True freshman.
It'd be kind of like that approach where it's like a two-headed to three-headed monster. And all three of those guys are good enough to be your starter and take the majority of the snaps. I think that's going to be – I mean, if the running backs, they have to play good, just considering the fact that wide receiver does get scary when you get down the depth chart. And then tight end's been a consistent position group. You've always had multiple guys there. This year you got Miles Kitzelman, who's going to be a huge factor in this offense. I think if you want to make the playoffs, Miles Kitzelman and Ethan Davis have to have a really good year. You have to incorporate the tight ends a lot into the offense. It could be just in the passing game. It could be in the blocking game. It could be in the Miles Kitzelman fullback sneak that we did last year against Georgia. It could be just incorporating them any way that you can. I mean, Penn State got to the college football playoff last year with basically just running the whole offense through their tight end. So you can do it and you can be successful. Considering we're so weak at wide receiver, you're going to see a lot more of the offense rely on the tight ends. And then you also have like Deshaun Brame, and then who's been touted really well so far in preseason camp. Then you have some other guys on the depth chart as well you may not see. But tight end is good. Running back's good. Scary-wise, of course, wide receiver. I'm sure we'll speak on that more in a minute. Wide receiver is terrifying, actually. That's really disappointing to see the fact that we don't really have a lot of guys there. And if injuries does hit the wide receiver group at all, we may be in a deep spot there. Not really worried about the offensive line. It's kind of the same as it always has been. You have guys that you can trust in, and you have guys that are unproven. There's more spots up for grabs this year, but those spots were kind of filled with transfer portal guys, so I'm not necessarily worried about that. So the offense, I mean, running back and tight end, confident in that. Wide receiver, not too confident. Quarterback, I'm confident in. Offensive line, iffy. It kind of just depends on the position.
I agree on running backs. Heupel, he even said this is the deepest running back room that they've had, which I don't know. They've had some decent running back room. So, I mean, 3 guys in one room are in the NFL, and Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, and Dylan Sampson. So that was a pretty strong running back room. This one's good, though. I think Bishop gets the carries out of the gate. I really like what Peyton Lewis and Star Thomas brings a little bit of everything. Tight ends, I even floated around at some point because you mentioned Kitzelman, you mentioned Ethan Davis, you got Deshaun Brain, but they talk about Jack Van Dorsel there too. Could you go crazy at some point and go 4 tight ends? You could do so much out of it. I mean, I don't think they will. No. This is probably an NCAA football formation, but the tight end room though, you could do so much out of that because Brame and Ethan Davis can be mismatches.
Yeah.
And, all 4 of them have abilities. You could, shift, say, Kitzelman into the backfield as like a fullback, for example. You could do so much with it. I don't know that they will, but evidently there's some new wrinkles in the offense. I'm not that concerned about the wide receivers. I was, but you're right. Injuries were hurting, but I think with Brazel and Staley being out as much could come back to be a blessing in disguise because Travis Smith Jr. and Radarius Jackson's gotten a ton of reps, but Amari Jefferson's gotten more reps as well. So that can't afford the injuries. That's for sure. But I think there's talent in the room, and I don't know. I'm pretty high on the offensive line because I think Hurd, the offseason we've read about he's had, has been really good. He's not been hampered by injuries. He cut weight. Wendell Moy Jr., I mean, you look at him, he had no penalties and no sacks given up last year, excuse me. Pendleton, it looks like, will be the center. I think he'll do okay. The right side's going to be, that center to right, it'll be interesting because you got redshirt freshman Jesse Perry. I'm assuming this is how it's going to go. And then David Sanders Jr. I like the line. I think it looks like an SEC offensive line. Will there be some growing pains? It's possible. It's possible along the way. I don't know if we'll find out much till Georgia. That'll definitely be a test. But overall, do you think the offense takes a step back, stays about the same, or they improve overall?
You won't have the same star player that you had in Dylan Sampson, but I would say they take a step forward in scoring wise. I think they'll find more ways to score this year, especially in SEC play compared to what they did last year. It may not be much better, just because the fact that Dylan Sampson did do everything that he did last year. I just think you'll see more. You'll see this offense find their way into the end zone a little bit more often. So I would say they take
more.
Yeah, I would say they take a little bit of a step. I'm not going to say it's major. I still think the defense carries this year, just like they did last year.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm just curious. I know some people said it before, but you think of these Georgia teams who have been their main targets. It's been the tight ends. That's what they built their room on. Like you mentioned, Penn State basically got to the semifinal, relying on their tight end. Because you looked at their receivers, I think most of their receivers hit the portal, and you looked at their numbers, and they were not very good at all. So, if you play it right, and especially with the tight end room that Tennessee has, it's pretty good. It should be really good this year. Now there's at the same time, guys have to prove it, but man, it seems like Brame has a big future ahead of him. Davis, we've heard about him. Can he put it together? It's a big room, man. It's good. I think with anything, with the line too, you're starting to develop depth there, quality depth instead of having to play walk-ons. And we'll see across the board. I think it depends. A lot of it's going to depend on Aguilar, obviously, but I think there's a lot of talent on there as well. But you mentioned the defense carrying the load on it. What do you like? What are you concerned with on the defense?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm concerned about a single position group on the defense. I think the defense as a whole at all three levels is really good. I haven't been worried about the defensive line since maybe the first season that Rodney Gardner took control. That's the last time we even had any concern. After that, it's the defensive line room's been stacked. The linebackers is good. I mean, Jeremiah Thielander, Arian Carter, they both have a lot of experience at this point, so there's no worrying about that group. You also have some talented guys in that room as well that they're gonna learn under with Thielander and Carter. And then the secondary is just completely loaded. I mean, you go across the board and you just list name after name. That's really good. Defense, I'm ecstatic about the defense. I mean, it's endless names that are all really good football players.
Yeah, and just wait till Hobbs and McCoy are back. I mean, because I think there's a pretty good chance they're both out. Definitely Hobbs from what I've seen. I'm assuming McCoy is going to be out too. I'll be curious to see when he comes back, if it'll be by Georgia or if it'll be later than that. But, yeah, I mean, that cornerback room, you're looking at probably Hood, Gibson, McMurray, and Heupel pretty much said today Boo Carter's going to play. So, if he's going to play, he needs to be out there because he's one of the best on there. So, I don't know if there'll be a quarter or a half suspension or if anything at all. Maybe it's just a case of him earning his way back. But I think if he's going to play, put him in, let him go, and let him field punts because that's, we saw last year what happened when you got a little crazy with who you put back in punts, and they waited so long to put Boo back. The punt return game was pretty pathetic up until Boo took over, and then it picked back up like D. Williams was back again or something to an extent. Line is deep, man. It is very deep. I can't remember how many guys I counted when it was over 15 dudes that could contribute. And I'm big on Edwin Spillman at linebacker. I think he's a game changer.
He is.
I think he's a game changer. He will absolutely knock the crap out of you. He's violent. He's brutal. He can run. I think he'll be a guy that can cover the passes where they struggled a little last year. And then, another dude who can, knock you out of your shoes too is Farouk at safety. I still say there's a reason Jacoby Thomas transferred, and it was more than money. I think he got beat out.
Probably.
By Farouk and possibly Caleb Beasley. So, and then, of course, you got Turrentine. I'm with you. I mean, on the defense, I have no concern. My concern is in the big games, are we going to sit back and be conservative, or are we going to turn these guys loose on it? That's going to be week number 3. We'll find out. Week number 1, we should turn the defense loose on Syracuse. I mean, they're breaking in. We'll talk Syracuse here in a minute. They're breaking in a lot of new guys, new quarterback. What I see today, 4 transfers on the offensive line.
Yep.
So, I mean, bring the house. Bring it and try it out this week. And I just don't see with what they've got coming back that I don't know. I know Syracuse will be good coached, but I just don't think they should match up with all that they lost. Just my opinion on that. And then, I mean, special teams should be pretty good. You return everybody on it, and the kick return game is pretty much irrelevant now. I think I heard last week they only returned like 14 kicks last year. So barely a kick per game. So that one, will they change it up with new special teams coordinators? Who knows on that? But, we'll see along the way. I hadn't got your record prediction yet. We'll get that here in a few minutes because I changed mine up a little bit. Actually, I probably drank a glass of orange Kool-Aid when I did it. But before we shift to Syracuse, the non-conference, I'm going to give my opinion on this one, a couple of opinions on it, and I'll ask yours. Non-conference games, thoughts on it, and who do you think, who's your preference on the 3 permanents?
I mean, I think the non-conference games is a good thing, just because us as fans, we get to watch more good football games. So that's why I'm in agreement on it. I don't really think that there should be much of an argument up for who Tennessee's 3 opponents are. I think it has to be Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. I just think that's, historically speaking, that's the 3 that you really go with. You can make the argument to throw in Florida or even like Georgia, possibly even South Carolina. But I don't think that they wouldn't give us Georgia just because there's not like a lot of history there. I would say if they didn't give us Alabama, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt, they would probably throw in Florida instead of Kentucky.
That's where I mean, yeah, historically it makes the most sense. Another one to keep in mind, Auburn was a big rival at one point too. So I don't know if they would consider that or not, but
I doubt they would. That's too long ago.
I mean, because Auburn's going to have Alabama, Georgia. Oh, Auburn's going to have it. I don't know who their third. Could it be LSU? That would be pretty rough.
Awful.
That would be pretty rough on it. I wouldn't. I just kind of don't have interest in it being Kentucky, even though it probably. And I know that's a win, but I don't know. It is what it is. I agree. I think that's the most likely. Florida would make sense. I've seen people say South Carolina. I would be okay with that one. I don't want it to be Georgia. I'm good to get Georgia off the schedule every year at this point. My preference is Carrie's froze up on us here. So my preference is you're back. You was frozen in a blink.
Yeah, it was
there.
both of us were frozen.
My preference is they should have went to a 10-game schedule. I would like to see the 10. The year we did the 10, which was a COVID year, I know it was a special circumstance, but I even though it was an awful year, it was actually a great year because it got rid of Jeremy Pruitt. Thank goodness. A guy I never liked from the get-go. I would love to see a 10-game schedule on it. That tells a whole lot more to me. All this non-conference crap, I don't know. They could do away with it or what. I don't know what the answer is to it. I think the only way it's ever going to get solved is when the SEC and the Big Ten break away. It's going to happen. I don't think it's a matter of if, it's when. And they'll have ESPN and Fox backing them too when it happens. So, it'll be basically pro football, semi-pro at that point, but still, yeah, it will happen, and I'll be curious to see what it looks like. Do they go to something like the NFL where they have the just conferences, or I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities with it. I would be more. I think I don't like 9 because it's an odd number. It just teams are going to get 4 and 5 home games, probably alternating on that. And they were talking about last night on the Big Orange Rewind. I mean, you got Tennessee picks up, who is it, Georgia Tech the next 2 years. Bama's picking up West Virginia. I can't remember. They named some other ones along the way. So, of course, you've already got Florida State, Clemson, South Carolina. Those are not going anywhere. They're in-state rivalries. But I don't know. I like that they went to 9. I wouldn't have had a problem going to 10, though. But we'll see how it works out. I'm curious to see what the schedule, because that'll start. It's next year, right?
Yeah, it starts next year.
Yeah, so they'll have to. I don't know who Tennessee's got scheduled for non-conference, so they're probably going to have to drop somebody next year. They won't drop Georgia Tech, I don't think, because they had to work to replace Nebraska with them, but I think Furman is one of them, and I don't know who the other 2, but I would imagine somebody's getting balled out next year, more than likely, unless there's some loophole in the contracts. But let's see. A lot of people are saying Kentucky, Vandy, and Bama. That's probably the most likely on it. I mean, it makes the most sense from a historical standpoint on it. I will be curious, though, if SEC adds North Carolina and Clemson. They might as well go to 20 at that point. Who would be the other 2 you'd add if you add North Carolina and Clemson?
Maybe like SMU, and then bring back Tulane.
Interesting. SMU would be an interesting one, especially with them kind of starting to be pretty good.
They have the money, and that's what they're going to be.
You've already got a few two Texas teams, and Oklahoma and Missouri and Arkansas. I mean, that would be an interesting one. I always kind of thought Virginia Tech might fit pretty good, but they're down a little bit. Right. They're kind of having the same stuff as us since Beamer left. They've had a hard time finding a guy.
Success.
Doesn't hurt my feelings any, but man, I don't know. North Carolina, Clemson. I don't know. Would you want Miami or Florida State?
I wouldn't be opposed. Like I wouldn't. That'd be cool. I don't want to go to Miami and play Miami with their 15 fans that decide to show up each Saturday. Florida State would be cool. I mean, that would be pretty cool to play them because they're still pretty upset about what happened at the College World Series. So it'd be a rivalry before we even really played in football since we beat them in a national championship game. And they of course still want payback for that as well. So, I mean, if we didn't have to play them for a while, that'd be good. Just considering we definitely have the upper hand over that athletic department so far.
Some Bender String said West Virginia. West Virginia wouldn't be a bad one. They wouldn't be a bad one.
I would like West Virginia. Yeah.
They've got a good fan base. That would be a good one. FSU, Miami. Oklahoma State doesn't interest me. Virginia doesn't interest. Virginia, I don't know. Virginia's pretty. They're an interesting. I've seen they would probably go Big Ten though, if so. But Virginia could be a decent. I think I've seen where the SEC would actually like to have them. So we'll see. North Carolina would be a fun one. Tennessee owes them in football from Music City Bowl years ago, but we'll see. Let's get back into Syracuse here. We'll wrap up here about 9. We're about 39 minutes in. Got 158 people. Thank you guys for tuning in on this game week. Finally, feels like it's been the worst months of the year are when baseball ends up till football. It's just, unless there's like baseball portal stuff, maybe some unexpected stuff with football. We had the Aguilar, we had the Boo Carter drama to get us through. I guess we've had some pretty good recruiting run for Tennessee. We'll see where we go from there. Big man, this is one of the biggest opening weeks I can remember in football. 1 versus 2 or 3, depending on the rankings. 4 versus 9, Clemson and LSU. Tennessee, Syracuse, Bama, Florida State. Gosh, who I know I'm forgetting. I know there's more.
There's Notre Dame and Miami.
That's it. Notre Dame, Miami. They're coming out of the gates, guns a-blazing.
That's how it should be, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to watch every single game be against some FCS team. And that's kind of the boring thing about, like, Thursday night of Labor Day weekend. It's like, football's back. Yay, college football back. Okay, I'm watching Missouri play Rhode Island. Like, it's not, let's be real, it's like not very entertaining. So it would be nice to keep this kind of tradition going forward of having a lot of heavyweight matchups. And I'll sacrifice it. I'll sacrifice having a buttload of week 1 games and week 2 and 3 not being as good. But of course, that'll change whenever they start playing 10 SEC conference games. I mean, it'll be week 2, week 3, and we're already playing conference games. So it'll be good to see in the future.
It wouldn't surprise me if you don't see some week 1 conference games. I mean, there was a point in time I know Georgia and South Carolina, there were times where they opened the season with one another. It's been a minute, but there was one more I thought of, another pretty good game. Or 2 South Carolina, Virginia Tech. I don't know what Tech's going to have this year, but it could be. It's a name for them to play for sure. So I don't. We'll see. There's some. I would just assume they go with an SEC ACC challenge or something.
That'd be good.
That'd be pretty good. I mean, because a lot of them play somebody from the other conference anyway. I know Vanderbilt normally plays Wake, or like they beat Virginia Tech last year. I don't know. Let's see, Kentucky plays Louisville every year. I mean, so they might as well just do like an SEC, ACC challenge, maybe at the end of the year or something. Wouldn't be too bad. But Syracuse coming out of the gates, anything we've looked at, is there anything that you've read and looked at that concerns you about Syracuse?
Not really. I mean, they're a good coach football team, so it'll be a competitive game. They have so much turnaround on their football team that it's kind of hard to know what to expect from them. I don't expect their defense to be good. The offense is the question mark. The offensive line, nobody really knows how that's going to be for them, just because they lost like 3 of 5 starters, but they brought in a few guys. Like they brought in the Alabama transfer, and they also brought in a South Carolina transfer. They got some guy back from injury, I think, that was like out last season. So offensive line, I think they're okay. They got the Jonte Cook guy that played at Texas and Washington, so he's kind of somebody to look out for. Then they had I think Daryl something Jr., like Daryl Gill Jr. or something like that. He's a wide receiver for them. He's supposed to have a breakout season. And then their running back, he played 11 games last season. Actually, I have all this wrote down. I don't know why I'm ignoring that. Yeah, Daryl Gill Jr. He was the only returner on offense with at least 275 yards of offense from last year. They lost their 2-time All ACC running back. They lost their top 2 wide receivers, and they lost their top tight end as well. And then, of course, they lost their quarterback. So quarterbacks replaced, running backs replaced. They do have, let's see, where's it at here? Sophomore running back, Yassine Willis. He did play in 11 games for them last year, so they should be okay at the running back position. I don't know how their tight end group looks. Wide receiver should be okay. Everything I've read on them says that they have skill players, so I'd look out for that. And then the offensive line, like I mentioned, that's kind of unknown.
I'm curious, Willis, the running back, he's 235 pounds. They brought up a point last night on the Big Orange Rewind. Wonder how that'll be, because Tennessee's not been tackling a lot.
Nope.
So what's going to happen?
We know how that happened last year when we made the trip down to Arkansas, and they had that big old running back. How that panned out.
Yeah, so that could be something to watch right there. And I heard another point last night they talked about was where Fran Brown, Syracuse coach, was at Georgia. Well, he's going to be familiar with now how much is Heupel and company changed the offense, or supposedly these new looks. We'll find out more about that. I mean, if there's not film on it, that'll be something. But if they come out the same old, Syracuse might have a bit of a plan for them. And, the offensive line, let's see, North Carolina, Louisville, Florida State, South Carolina. Pringle, Tennessee was in on him. I wonder why he left South Carolina. Unless he got beat out, possibly. I don't know. I was thinking he was starting at some point for them. So, I mean, that might be some quality guys they've got in. If they can get them to gel in jelly. I mean, from what I've seen, he's not a bad quarterback, pretty smart quarterback. What I heard him talk about is he's not that mobile of a guy. But at the same time, is he a dude that you give him a little bit of space and he can make you pay for it? We've got to just apply the pressure to him. You can collapse that pocket. He's not going to do anything with it. I mean, that's where we need Josephs, Caleb Herring, Jordan Ross, whether it's Tyree West, Dominic Bailey. I'm curious to see how they go on third downs, who they'll move inside some. Could you move Tyree West inside Bailey, or somebody get a little more speed in there? But I think that if they can make Angel, if they don't give him time to be comfortable, they'll make things happen with him as well. So we'll go ahead and get into that. And I want to get in your season predictions as well. So what's your prediction for Saturday? Or you can pass ever what you feel like doing.
I would say, but you made me predict a score. I'd go 27-13. I just think our defense is going to be just as good this year as it was last year. I don't think that Syracuse will be able to stop the run, and that'll also open up our opportunities to let Aguilar have some success as well. So 27-13 kind of feels comfortable for me. I don't know what the spread's at right now. I don't gamble, so
I think
it
I
doesn't
saw
really
like
affect
14.
me. But I think that's a good number. Just considering the fact of I'm not predicting Tennessee to score 40 points like I would have last year at the start of the year, just because offense took a step back last year. It maybe take a little bit of a step forward this year. So we'll just kind of see how it pans out. But I feel pretty confident in 27-13.
I'm not going to go 40 either. I'm going to go 37-13. And we'll say that the offense does their job. And I would even see I could even see some where there's points left on the table too. Not necessarily miss Pat, because I think Aguilar is going to be able to hit the deep ball, but I think there will be some growing pains this week with it, just because how much are him and the receivers on the same page. I may be a little ambitious, but Chatsworth says 21-17. Man, I would be a little bit concerned. I mean, we'll see. I mean, that would not have me feeling real great.
I'd be pretty nervous
based on what we're seeing. So I would not feel confident with Georgia coming in a couple of weeks. But I'm expecting Tennessee to roll. Vols fan Will says the spread's 14.5 now. So I've seen it ranging from 13.5 to 14.5. It's been consistent, right around 2 touchdowns the whole time. Overall record, I think we might have talked about that. We've previewed it at some point, but what's your prediction on overall record for the season?
My heart says 11-1. My realistic one is 10-2. If I had to put money on it, I'd go 9-3.
If they go 10-2, which one of the big 3 do they get?
Georgia.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that. I think it's just because they finally get over the hump against them, and it's at home.
You get them early.
Georgia, you get them early. Gunnar Stockton is not Superman. They're not necessarily as talented as they have been in years past. I just think it will match up well, and I think Josh Heupel will finally jump the curve on them, and that hurts. It really does truly hurt to say that we're going to lose at Alabama, considering they're going to have Ty Simpson at quarterback, the one and only man who's played in high school against Hampton High School. He faced no competition in high school whenever he played here in Tennessee, and I don't think he's good, and that's why it hurts to say we'll lose to them, because I don't think he's good whatsoever, and I don't think they will be successful at the quarterback position. I don't know how Tennessee loses that game, especially considering the fact that Josh Heupel hasn't necessarily played bad in Tuscaloosa in his 2 trips. Like, it's not been awful. I was at one of them, unfortunately, whenever we were up like 10 at halftime. But it's just, I don't know how they lose that game. I just think they do. And I don't know in my lifetime if I will ever see Tennessee go down to the Swamp and win a football game. And I don't really expect that to change this year.
Well, it's been 22 years since they've won at either place.
Yep.
So it's, like I said, they've had some close ones at Bama. I mean, the last time, like I said, they were up at the half, and then it's like the wheels fell off in the second half. Florida, I don't know what happens when it doesn't matter who the coach is. When they go to Florida, they absolutely – what's that?
Some voodoo. They do some voodoo.
It's insane. Some of the things that have happened in that game. I mean, some of the just gut-wrenching losses at the end, or the ones that aren't, are just I don't know how many times over the years I felt Tennessee should have went down and beat Florida,
Yep.
And they've either had those bad losses at the end or they've just crapped the bed so bad. I mein, Heupel, both times down, it's been bad.
It's been really bad.
I can't remember with Pruitt. I'm sure it was bad with him. I mean, what wasn't bad with him? Jones had –
Don't even.
gosh, he had 2 awful ones. And then
He
the
had
third
2
one where – who was it?
heartbreaking
Nathan
ones.
Peterman couldn't field a snap forever. And it was – it was just –
Those are some dark times.
my
Then
goodness.
again, it is a dark time every time we go down to the swamp. And considering the last 2 appearances or the 2 only appearances we've had in the swamp with Josh Heupel, I mean, the last time we went down there was the most confident I've ever been in my life about winning a game in the swamp.
And we
And
got
by golly, if we
embarrassed.
didn't go out there and just crap the bed and just let an awful Georgia football team completely dominate us.
Florida.
And what made it worse is I can still see the video of Josh Heupel hopping up the crowd as he walked into the stadium. And he's saying, let's effing go. And then come out there and just forget to show up from the time the football's kicked off. So,
yeah, and he calls his timeout at the end because he's mad about getting beat. He did that numerous times that year, and that infuriated me. Just let the game get – because you ended up getting personal fouls every time, and it was senseless.
and then Kamal Haddon's trying to fight an offensive lineman.
Yeah, who was it in that game too? It was Etienne broke that one, and was it Kamal Haddon that just gave up on it, or looked like he was running in mud? And he had a good year until he got hurt, but that was not a glorifying.
That was not a bright moment for him.
No, that game was just awful, and I'm like you, I felt confident in it, but it was a terrible defensive game plan, and the offense sucked too. I mean, it was a perfect storm. Whatever went
I would say,
wrong.
I honestly would say I felt going into that game the same way I felt before the South Carolina game in 2022. I just expected us to win, and I expected it to be in decently dominant fashion. So if I get that feeling again this year, I know exactly what to expect.
I remember, I mean, I was living there at the time, going to the game. My neighbors were Carolina fans. They're like, take it easy on us tonight. And it's like, well, I hope not. And little did I know it was going to be the other way around.
Yeah.
That was what an awful night. That was when I went to Charlotte and watched them play NC State last year. I was going to say that's the last game I went to was that Carolina game. But no, oh my gosh, what an awful, awful experience that was, just all the way around. And that's a part of me why I wouldn't mind Carolina on the schedule, because, listen, their mouths the whole way back to the car that night. And there wasn't much you could say about it either. It's like, yeah, whatever with it. But so I said 11-3 is where I ended up changing to. I said 10-2. I don't know which one of the 3 they get. It's kind of like with Lady Vols. I said they're getting Lady Vols last year is either going to beat LSU, South Carolina, or UConn. And they finally come through and beat UConn. So I'm going to say they're getting one of the 3. And I just don't see Oklahoma coming to Knoxville and beating Tennessee. I don't
either. I mean, they're good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They're really
But
good.
it's at home.
Yeah, it's at home, and it'll probably be a night game. And then I just think, I mean, we dominated them last year. So
yeah,
and with a not necessarily
didn't
at their
play
place.
that great on offense.
We didn't even play that good, and we still dominated them.
I mean, I don't see Arkansas coming in and winning in Knoxville.
No,
I don't see us going to Kentucky and losing.
and
I just don't see Mississippi State being improved enough. I mean, if there is that one where you potential to just have a meltdown, I mean, that's probably it, just because it's a road game.
Yeah.
But and I know they're doing a whiteout. They're going all out for it. So, I mean, that's a prime game for Tennessee to not show up.
If you lose that game, I'm going to be so incredibly mad. At least last year with Arkansas, it was like, okay, they have a good quarterback and they have a pretty good team. Like, they have potential. You don't have that this year with Mississippi State. If you lose this game, like, you're cooked. And Mississippi State will probably do exactly like Arkansas did last year. They beat Tennessee, and then they give Tennessee no help the rest of the year. Like, they just make that look like even worse of a loss as each week went by. Every time we needed Arkansas to possibly pull off an upset to make that loss for us maybe look a slight bit better, they just did the complete opposite. So
didn't help.
If you lose to Mississippi State, it's not going to be pretty in Knoxville.
I think if you have that meltdown on the road, Florida is the most likely with it. And I don't know how good Florida is going to be.
Like, I think I wouldn't predict 12-0 just because the fact of I know that's I can already envision DJ Lagway just balling out that game. Because I mean,
here's what's going to be bad.
I think he's good. So
yeah, here's what's going to be bad. You mentioned Ty Simpson. If Ty Simpson leads Alabama to victory, Lagway's out, and then Harrison Bailey leads Florida to victory over Tennessee.
If we get beat by Harrison Bailey, oh my gosh.
And that would be awful because you know that whoever's announcing that game will just go on about just really pour it on that night. But I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited about this team. I say 10-2, they're getting one of the three, 1-1 in the playoffs. 10-2 will get them in the playoffs. There's not a Big 12 team, if they're not up there, that's going to get, elevated or catapulted up to the top four. It's going to be because last year, what was it? We would have been playing SMU, hosting SMU if the rankings were the way they should have been. I see something similar this year, and that'll enable Tennessee to get that one win in the playoffs. And then, who knows after that, but you'll be playing one of the higher ranked teams at that point, is my prediction on it. I think 11-3 would be pretty good, to be honest with you. And then they move forward there as well. So let's see. We got about a minute left. We're going to wrap this thing up. Any final thoughts as we get into – we're finally here. We're finally at game
football
week.
time again.
It's finally football time.
Just enjoy the week.
Yeah, it's going to be a big week, long weekend for everybody, Labor Day weekend. So enjoy the week. It's going to be it's going to be a great weekend of football for sure, all weekend up till I think there's games, Sunday and Monday too. So
there is for sure on Sunday. I think I looked on Monday, but there wasn't. I didn't see anything. So there's typically always been in the past a game on Monday. So I don't know if it just wasn't showing on CBS Sports or what's going on there.
Let me look at it. I'm just curious here. Let's see. Thursday, you got Boise State and South Florida. Western Illinois and Illinois Friday night. Then you get into the big games here. Trying to see if there's any. Oh, Florida's got a tough one. Long Island University. This could be an interesting game. Texas A&M and UT San Antonio. That one could be a little bit interesting.
If it's like baseball.
Yeah, that's right. Be funny.
What do you think of What do you think of Hendon Hooker being released?
That's probably the best thing for him.
I think the same thing.
Probably the best.
What I said. I said he needed to do everything he could to get out of there.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Goff's not going anywhere.
No.
So, I mean, he wasn't going to get time.
They brought a man out of retirement and replaced him in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's kind of when the writing was on the wall then.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any doubt about it. Yeah, there's no Monday night game. Looks like you got Virginia Tech and South Carolina on Sunday afternoon at 3, and then Notre Dame and Miami Sunday night at 7:30. So, yeah, they normally do a Monday nighter, but that's two pretty good ones on the weekend. I'm hoping I would have thought hope Hooker would go to the Raiders, but since they got Geno, I mean, he's not going to be playing there. So I don't know what the best situation is for him.
Yeah,
Now,
we'll see. Something will
mean,
happen.
Yeah, I mean, because if he goes to the Titans, he's going to be behind Cam Ward. I don't know where else Pittsburgh maybe backs up Rodgers for a year and takes over. I don't know. I don't know if they're in the market for somebody, but all right, let's get out of here on that one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Had a good night tonight. It is game week. Not doing live shows this year. I'm just not in the market for it. It's a watered down. There's too many that do it on it, and too many have bigger followings than me. I'll put our coverage up against anybody's. I think we do pretty good, but at the same time, got to be pretty realistic. And frankly, I just want to watch the games how I want, not have to go live after it and with the emotions. I'll have plenty of live for baseball and basketball along the way. But thanks for Kerry for jumping on. This is Frank, House of Orange. You guys have a great evening. I'll see you. Want to see you.